Alright, so we finally made it here. What I wanted to show you guys, I found this when I was a younger kid on a four-wheeler driving cows through here one year. It is a little different than what I remember, but I'll kind of give you a show. So we drove up this canyon right here. It kind of goes down through there, comes all the way up here, and then it just becomes this rock canyon right here. And right here isn't too bad. You could get a truck a little ways in here. You can get a four-wheeler all the way through this one. If I remember right, there's a place where you can't get a four-wheeler anymore and you end up having to walk it once we get up in here a little farther. But it's, like I said, it's just kind of different. We're in the bottom of a valley, and out of nowhere we just have these giant rock walls. Waters ran down here and carved this out, of course, but I don't know, it's just something you don't see out here in the West Desert of Utah very often. Is something quite like this. But it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's got a lot of cool little features to it. Big flat face. But yeah, anyways, we'll just keep on trucking up through here. If we run into anything interesting, we'll stop and take a look at it. And as you can see here, it kind of opens up again. And then once we get up here a little ways, kind of up in that area, it goes into those rock canyon walls again. Oh, we're getting the shade again. And it is the first week of January, so it is a little bit nippy out here. But nothing just a good jacket won't help with. As you can see, see where the water undercut that pretty good. I said that's actually like almost all the way over me. You can see every time this little thing makes a turn, that water has cut out big old overhangs. From this. Big old crack right there. Pretty cool. Another one right there. Big old overhang right up there. Well, that's another thing about this, is I feel like you can see that's elk scat. Pellets, whatever you want to call it. I think the elk and deer around this area use this channel as a way of transportation through the valley. So they go unnoticed or unseen. Because once you get out of this valley, there's some more right there. Once you get out of this little wash, whatever you want to call it, it's basically flat all the way across here. So I'm guessing this is what they use. As you can see, there's some more down there. This is a mode of transportation for them to keep hidden as they travel through the bottom of this valley that we're in. But I mean, I don't think a whole lot of people know about this place. My grandfather showed it to me when I was young, and I've only been back to it one other time than the time he showed me where it was. Like I said, I don't think it gets much human foot travel. It's kind of untouched. Like I said, we're just out here in the west deserts of Utah, and I know a lot of people come to Utah to see the national parks, all that cool stuff that Utah has to offer. But what most people don't know is Utah has so much more to offer once you get off the unbeaten path. Once you get out here and just kind of take adventure on by yourself without, national parks and designated trails, all that kind of stuff. That's what really makes it fun, is when you can just explore on your own and probably see things that 98% of the population, maybe 99% of the population has never seen before. Like I said, like this. The thing is you'll never know this was here until you drove up to it or got up to it. You can look out across the valley, and this is just right on top of this. It's just flat. It's just flat. And then there's this giant, wash area that water has ran down, carved through these rocks. Once again, more elk. I've been through here, quite a few elk. Must use this in means of travel. Like I said, it's pretty cool in its own right. Kind of a chute right there. Yeah, but we'll just keep on walking. As you can see, we're getting out of the rock walls again and kind of opening up as we go a little farther forward into this, but we'll just keep on trucking. And see if we see anything worth showing. Like I said, we'll just keep on walking, keep on recording. You look at that, you kind of got an arch right there in the rock. That's pretty cool. As we get closer, it opens up bigger and bigger. A lot of little caves, a lot of little holes in the rock sides. You can see, I'm sure some animals use it as homes or shelter, whatever. Squirrels, pack rats, stuff like that. But that arch is pretty cool. Just up there. Now here comes the sun. Here's that back side of that arch. You can tell it really cut that side out, didn't it? Let me get out of the sun so we can actually see what we're looking at. You can't even see the arch. Really? It's on a downward angle there. That sun is giving us quite the glare right now. Once we get up here and make this right-hand turn, it shouldn't be so bad. It's just getting to be a little much for the camera to actually see anything. There we go. Now we've got back into the shadows. Like I said, this isn't a hard little hike at all. I mean, little kids could do this. I mean, you do have to be, you know, somewhat capable, but I'm sure a family could do this, no problem. There are a few places that you have to crawl over some big rocks, but other than that, pretty simple to get up in here. It's kind of fun. I mean, you're walking on pretty, I mean, it's sand, but there's a lot of big rocks in it, so you're not like sinking out of sight into the sand, because I know that can be really tough to do, hike through really dry, fine sand. I've hiked over towards like Coyote Gulch area, towards Moab, over in that area, and sometimes that sand, I mean, it wears you the heck out just trying to trudge through it as you go along. And as you can see, like I said, it's a beautiful area. Like I said, once we get back to the truck, after we get through all this, I'll bring up the drone and I'll kind of show you how secluded this little area is. Like you won't even be able to see it unless you're right on top of it. It's pretty amazing. So it's right here is nothing too grand and exciting. Rock walls have kind of ended, and we just have kind of like a valley that the water has ran through. More elk dung there. Now you can see we're getting to the mouth of it now, where it all begins, because it's opening up quite big. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of all the rock walls, everything like that. So we'll just ponder up over here. See what else, see if there is anything else, and if not, we'll turn around and go back and call it a day. But like I said, this is a easy 20-minute hike, 30-minute hike. Maybe with kids, it might be an hour if you stop and look at everything. Not too bad at all. Like I said, Utah has a lot of beauty that a lot of people don't know about. Sometimes it's worth it just to get off your beaten path and go explore on your own. You never know what you find. Like I said, I wouldn't have never found this if it wasn't for my grandfather and us driving cattle through this area when I was younger. And like I said, me and my dad came to it not too long ago, checked it out, just so I could remember where it was before I decided to bring everyone else out here on camera, so I didn't look like a fool getting lost or something. But like I said, I basically grew up out here. This place is kind of like my second home. I know it pretty well. There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of acres that I've traveled out across here, exploring, doing stuff just like this when I was a kid, teenager, young adult. I've just never really stopped. And now decided to bring you guys along with me from here on out. So like I said, starting this YouTube channel and everything like that, just to kind of show my adventures, the stuff that I see on a day-to-day basis, you know, places I've been, places I still want to go. I'm just going to bring you guys along with me and show the world, or whoever's watching, you know, the unseen beauty of some of these places. But having said that, like I said, out here in the southwest desert of Utah, this place is pretty unforgiving. There's no cell service. There's nothing like that around here. Like, if you're to break down out here and you're not, you know, self-reliant enough on yourself to fix your vehicle, or, you know, change a spare tire, anything like that, you might die. You might get stuck out here, and people have died out here because of it. This is a lot of area out here, a lot of places, you know, people don't come very often. Like here, I've like I said, if you got stuck up in here, and I mean, it could be years before the next person walks up in through here. So yeah, like I said, it's been fun. Like I said, we're gonna call that the hike because it just keeps going on up through here, up through there, and then it just kind of pops out once you get up towards the mountainside, up on the bench. But yeah, if you enjoyed that. I know I enjoy the little hikes here and there. We'll go back to the truck, grab the drone, fly over it with the drone so you can just kind of see how hidden it is to the rest of the world. We'll take a gander at it and then we'll go from there. Okay, thanks.